Welcome here, everyone. We are excited to be back once again. Day number 2. The group stages are done. Here are the HSEL Nationals, and we are on to the single elimination bracket. Teams are now locked in. The top 4 will be breaking out and seeing if they can take the crown today. We do have a fantastic swath of teams. What we're looking at, too, to kick things off. My name is Orbital. With me is, of course, the wonderful, the handsome, the amazing Catinator, and we will be your casters throughout the entirety of the rest of the Valorant bracket. We will be taking a look at Hebron versus Bosco to kick things off.
Yeah, 2 teams that we expected to make the top 4. I don't think we expected Hebron to make it in this fashion, coming in as the 4th seed into this final 4-team bracket. I think they're seeing St. John Bosco having phenomenal showings. A very close second series on the main broadcast yesterday for this team, but did definitely come through in the end. I think that one just kind of came down to getting a bit overzealous, you know. You get on lane, you start vibing, you have a little too much fun, and I don't expect to see that today.
Yeah, this is a couple squads that definitely play off the emotion, have a lot of fun with it, and I think really enjoy it. I got a chance to kind of walk around, take a look at them while they were playing in some of their other matches, and it seemed like people were having that kind of camaraderie between their teammates at the same time. Running up against your opponent, hearing them just across the desk is a brand new experience for them, for some of them at least. As Hebron, actually, we had talked about it before. Hey, it's a returning roster. Only 2 members are actually returning here, so they do bring 3 new members into this, and they're hoping to take the crown, continue the legacy onwards. For Bosco, though, Bosco look pretty dang good.
Yeah, the mechanical prowess for this team, incredible. I mean, looking at players like Kane to show in and show out consistently, whether that be in ranked or whether that be in the server. A couple moments, to say the least, of just mechanical prowess from this player. You can tell the rank mentality sneaks out. I think they play very similar to Prod in the sense of they do what they want when they want it, which makes it very difficult for your opponent to work around a player that's just that unpredictable. And it made them play a lot faster. I think these teams also have the deepest map pools of every team at this event. So if whatever one moves forward, it's going to be a hard finals. As we've looked at a lot of Bind, we've got a lot of Ascent, a lot of Haven. This map pool going to be a much different story. So we're coming into what is going to be strong maps for both of these teams. Here historically are the strongest when it comes to Fracture, and that's where they've gone first.
Yes, they have. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the maps. Bind and Lotus were banned out first. Bosco banning Bind really did not, as you said, want to play that stock standard, want to get someone off their comfort zone. Hebron banned away Lotus, which is understandable. And then, as you said, Fracture. Secondary pickup, though, by Hebron. They chose Pearl. They said, all right, if we're going spicy, we're going all the way. First 2 maps, Fracture, Pearl, and then back to Haven, which, again, if we're going back to Haven, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, something brand new. Pearl, great Viper map, great Astra map as well. So that'll be great for Ethos. And then on top of that, Hebron traditionally playing the Viper Astra double controller on Bind. So that's going to feel very comfortable for them for map number 2. And then the decider will even things up a bit if we get there, which I think this is the series where we would. Haven't got to see a map 3 yet today. This could be a different story. And Kane's out with a Yoru early in the pick ban fate.
You know what? If we're going to get spice, we're going to go spice all the way, right? I think that's the best way to put it here. We are going to have some spice, and still having that double duelist going to be kicking things off for the side of St. John Bosco, and they are the team to do so. Again, very mechanically gifted team. Same with Hebron's side, though. They're going for a little bit more stock standard. I like the Breach and Brim. This is understandable here on the Fracture side. The Killjoy is going to be some fun as well. I always do enjoy Killjoys, but Churstick, I think, had a wonderful time before, giving us a taste of what Killjoy should be able to do.
I am surprised to see Kane not go back to the Neon. Saw it on Lotus, and the space taken in what was an early 7 rounds for the squad was incredibly impressive. It really opened a lot of space, even if it wasn't translating to frags for Kane. The Yoru is something that a lot of these players have not played into at all, regardless of the map. It's an agent that requires a lot of team synergy. You almost have to babysit the Yoru at times to make sure that they're actually able to get value on their flanks. So it's really a question of if Kane can wedge into space, if they can read Hebron well enough to give space to him, and if the rest of the squad can work around it.
Although, when you do run into a Yoru, they either are hot or not. That's the other side of it. If you're picking Yoru, you got some time on the agent. And that itself can lend itself to a very scary moment, because if a Yoru is able to be self-sufficient, like you said, usually you have to babysit them. Well, if they don't have to babysit them, that's the other side of it. Then you become a force to be reckoned with. So we'll see if they can pull it off. For right now, though, it's a very stock standard start here. 3-2 situation. A little bit of a fade over towards the A site. Sky, though, understands up in the top rungs. Hey, we see a couple bodies. Let's go ahead and get that flash going. And off on the side, Sean tries to get a flank, but can't get the kills.
A little awkward on the time. We're trying to flash Sky into the angle. Hebron scales so quickly. They're already through hallway and onto the site. Plan will come down. Take already set. Look to take hallway early. Want to break alarm bot. That'll flash the team. There's room for Kane here off the pop. Going to pick up one, Vex another. Ritzy trades both back. Be a 2-on-2 when that original dust settles. It's another picked up for the KO now. 1v2 for the Brim on site. Looking to get this spike to have pop flash on his way. Ritzy will flash themselves because 1v1. And Ethos will win that with ease. It's 1-0 for Hebron. Pistol round converted.
Good start. Once again, a little bit more strength on them now. And again, at the end of the day, we were able to watch Hebron be able to qualify for this day number 2. We saw them a little bit more neutered, and again, a little bit less fire under them, but I attributed that a little bit towards the fact that, again, tired. A lot of games to be played, a lot of time waiting around. I mean, 12 hours or so. So now, back with the fire, back to get ready, and now into a round number 2.
Yeah, a little gas in that second map of Bind, but definitely kicked on the afterburner when they recognized how close it was. We're able to come back from what was it, 13-9 to a 13-11 win for them. And
no, it was a 14-12. It was an OT.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the fact that the team was able to find the energy later in the day speaks to the fact that this team does have that bit of extra drive in them.
Hallway being contained here, and it's a full rush of 5. Might as well. I mean, Bosco saying, all right, we understand what's going to happen here. Don't worry. And, I mean, the spray down is good. Kane able to grab one before falling on their own, but the Sheriff did the work. And now there's going to be a little bit of a shot out of the sky going Clay Pigeon shooting as Exit is able to take one. Fried gets one with the Stinger, and now the lineup. That's going to be Sean not finding any purchase.
That's how Eco's gone. The numbers for now. Just hoping for something and nothing to be had. Cheristic will take a third on the round. To bolster the killjoy, to bolster the lockdown with the extra ult orbs. We'll pass that rifle off to Ritzy. Cheristic going to hold with just that Sheriff. So the squad going to play into their bonus. Bosco, of course, into the gun round. They want to pick up here and not give away that early economic advantage to a team that can be so scary once they get the ball rolling. They showed us that very early into day number 1. And playing this very quick aggression, these very close angles. Same story yet again. They're looking to contact Exec onto the B site. Anal set arcade early. Caught by Util. TP's out of dodge.
Again, Bosco just feeling like, hey, we got to play a little bit safer, play a little bit more giving. And I like it. I like teams that are willing to give in order to take more later. You don't try and get a little bit cheeky. You don't try and go too hard. You make sure to give yourself the best advantage possible. That is playing the macro instead of the micro. And look at that. Vixia able to find Fried because they backed away, because they gave themselves a little bit of space. And now they're in the player advantage. That is now a 4v2 as Sky is going to get started on the defuse. Hebron can't really hold it down as Exit gets headshot. Beautiful job by Bosco.
Here aren't able to get into the site, but aren't able to do much afterwards. They vacate the premises, recognize how strong the retake will be with full rifles, and almost give a bit too much respect that they're just not able to do anything once they're forced out into arcade. Good retake for St. John Bosco to work the angles, recognize they have the longer range utility, and to play off one another to make sure only one player falls. It means they still bolstered up into what'll be this gun round. You should get a Spectre from a teammate here. We'll see Sky's a homie. Is, and we'll sell Util. So we'll actually grab them a Phantom into this round. It'll be full rifles for everyone involved.
Homies are the best. Making sure to make sure everyone is ready to go with the weapons, with the artillery, and
what Util is missing.
We might be able to take a look here. Yeah, we'll have to see later. Right now, it is going to be a very, very slow start. Heavy on the default side, as for the first time, Hebron are saying, okay, let's see if any of Bosco want to be cheeky here. And With the Yoru, I feel like you do want to be a little bit cheeky. You do want to get a little bit in the face, in the minds of the opponent. That's going to be the call. A little bit of a flash goes out. Mania cannot close it down, though, so that's a rough one. Kane getting some good information here. Tries to use a little bit of that doppelganger. A little bit of the clone. Not going to work as Vixie off screen takes out Isith.
Side presence going to have value. Hasn't seen anything else. No reswing. They're going to make the call. The defensive rotation now to A. It's got to find another down drop. Trading out. Mania location going to be known about. Still work through this trip. Hasn't updraft to do so. The WAP to just diminish the utility instead. This team has plenty of time if they want to swing the map. They haven't truly cut noise. It's just a very, very slow scale. The defense has no reason to move here. Only just reconfirming that the defensive read has been accurate. Raise top of sight, caught by the 0 point. Hebron going to try to isolate with util this one player, but everyone's so close sand already defensively.
They got to make a move. 20 seconds. They got to make a choice, and Sean and Sky make it for them. That's what happens when you wait just a bit too long. Fried stuck in a corner against the paint shell, and Sky flushes him out perfectly. Bosco route Hebron and make it 2-2.
I think that could be a different story if they cut noise before they scale the rest of the way hallway. That flashpoint from Fried comes about 10 seconds after the initial contact over to drop. There's just not enough time to force a defensive rotation. And good read from the IGL for St. John Bosco as well. Not move any members. That Braves defensive, so everything's still set ready to go. All 4 members there into that one. Easy numbers advantage and a confident win for them. It's full stingers for Hebron. This round's coming fast.
Time to jump.
They're gonna rush it and hopefully sting some people to death. I mean, if you're a colony of bees, you sting pretty dang hard, or maybe wasps, I don't know which. Right now, Kane just rushing forward, knowing that they have the gun advantage, finds all of them, and is going to get a beauty of a shot. Only gets one, though. The shorty can only do so much, but the rest of the team is able to back it up. And, hey, you trade 1 for 5. You're okay with that. St. John Bosco, take a third in style.
Yeah, they definitely have the money to trade 1 as well. Can have an easy rebuy into this round. Guns on the board yet again for Hebron. They sell just a bit of util they can get out into rifle buy next round as well. Of course, this round more favorable to win. Get right back into a 3-3 score line. St. John Bosco move the defensive. Kane's going to come over to the B site. No TP setup in spawn. This go around has been a player that's in on close contact, play off his TP. He'll throw it now to spawn. So going to peek ramp. If he gets contact, he can get out pretty easily.
Nice. There's your contact like you wanted, right?
Doesn't even need to get out.
Slow pacing here. Again, Hebron losing those initial trades have worn on them a little bit. And yes, they've been warming up quite well, but there is always that feeling of, okay, maybe we need to still temper ourselves just a bit more. Don't cause any problems. And there's a peek. Fried able to find a beautiful shot onto Kane.
Just a cue to hit the site. We'll walk into this one. There'll be retakes. St. John Bosco. Vixa caught through the sky smoke. It's an early find for the team now to set on post plant. Showstopper available for the Braves if they want to utilize it, getting back into this one. Everything arcade yet again. This is where the post plant has been the last B plant for Hebron. So do they have the read onto what is to come? Stem Beacon to get this team out early. Still haven't popped the rocket. Looking for a frag first. No real info yet. They'll get it now. Sky's going to pick up 1. A walk into tower for Mira. Going to garner 2 frags. Molotov online for Ichthys. Looking to swing wise. Picked up the first. You got to find 2 more, though. More importantly, got to stop the defuse. Can't do so. Sky's going to have the frag. Defuse on its way. St. John Bosco lead by 2.
Phenomenal job coming out of Bosco's side. Hebron dropping the ball a little bit there. And again, the slow pace, it's something I think they're not exactly wanting to do. It doesn't feel exactly like Hebron. I feel like they're on the leash. They're being told, hey, play it smart, play it smart, play it smart. I want to see him unleash. I want to see him go a little bit crazy, but for right now, it's still tempered. That's only 1 gun round. It's not the worst thing in the world to have. So, giving themselves a bit more time to work with. They now have the ults online. You can see the Orbital Strike, the Rolling Thunder, and the Lockdown. These are 3 primary ultis that I expect them to be able to use either in tandem or at least one to aggress and then one to cover. On the other side, that Neural Theft, if Bosco can once again find the first blood, gives all the information in the world. And one of the things with Fractures, you have to be willing to rotate very, very quickly and get in line with some of the opponents, make sure they don't get a march on you. It's a possibility that they have in tow, but for right now, Hebron looking towards this B site.
No info peaks just yet. Vixa maybe eat the worst. Step out to Ritzy Arcade. We'll catch him on the cross. Pretty phenomenal timing to garner the first frag. Hebron have cut noise completely. We'll slowly scale up ramp, looking for a trade. And Vixa will just continue straight shooting. We'll find another reposition quite nicely. Pick that one up. We'll continue the numbers advantage. And now there's contact very early into A hallway. So you want to swing this side of the map. They already know your controller's there.
How the heck did that kill come through? I mean, you're behind your buddy and you're the one that gets shot. That's the worst feeling in the world right there. It's like, come on. Still amazing, though. Great shots, and as we said, Bosco have that util in hand and also still have the player advantage. They're not worried at all. They're willing to just slowly rotate around. All the noise being made again, only 25 seconds. So Sean and Miri light them up. Once again, Miri with the 2K. And that save round goes away of Bosco as they lose no one.
This would have been a really good round for a timeout. Thank you. So they've been able to take the pistol in the round afterwards. The issue is now with rifles, they are not effectively defaulting the map. They have tried to put players on 3 avenues. The hardest part of Fracture is the push and pull. It's a tug-of-war game all the way through, recognizing where your defense is or where the defense is and what space you can take offensively when the defense is in that space. And they have not been able to effectively scale it and recognize when to take contact and when not to. So we've seen moments where they try to work 2 sides of the B site and leave one on the lurk towards A. The issue is, though, if that A lurk is making presence at the same time as your B site players are, even if they try to swing, there's already presence on A that's going to anchor your defense. So the goal, right, is if we work aggressively into one end of the map, one avenue of the map, and we take that space that defensively isn't held, the defense is going to have to rotate to compensate for the space that we've now taken. The issue is that if you are working both sites simultaneously and not effectively working when you make your contact, there is no reason for them to rotate, because in the defense's mind, okay, there's presence B, but there's also presence A. We can't move just yet. We don't know how many are where. So the timing has to be a little bit better in the mid-round. Players have to be a little more disciplined to wait for peaks, to wait for the rest of the team to make those rotations possible. And hopefully that timeout in this last minute, they've been able to make that decision and it'll look a little bit cleaner. St. John's going to play a lot faster into this round. The flash and the spawn. Great pinch coming through this side of the map, and it works beautifully. 3 frags picked up, just trading the 1.
I mean, that's Bosco, right? This is the second time they've now rushed on a gun round, by the way. This is not what feels like a stock standard, but Bosco just have that confidence right now. They're like, hey, you got guns in your hand. We don't care. We're going to rush you. We're going to rush you, force you to play at a much scarier moment. You're the ones now running away from us. And I mean, that works. Now Mania underneath that tower is going to watch as the team falls apart. Beautiful job as Bosco light them up and knock them down. 6 rounds as Bosco cleaned that up.
I really like the defensive tempo switch. Tejan Bosco have been playing pretty far back, minus Kane on close contact. A lot of these rounds, we've seen 1 round down B ramp with Kane and Vixa as that combination. But other than that, they've been very passive and letting Hebron kind of make mistakes. And that round out the timeout, recognizing this team's going to probably play a little bit faster to try to switch tempo and make something happen, try to get some momentum back on their side. So let's just go ahead and pinch spawn. Let's try to catch them early. They work the side of the map that Hebron has been sparing on. They're typically putting 4 players in the original spawn. They're not really zipping players over. And they recognize that this round might be the difference. They send 4 players in the pinch, and it works exactly how they would have drawn it up. Hebron switch things up. This is the first time we've seen them 4 contact at a drop. It's difficult. They don't get this hallway control, though. So there's a very big moment here for this Killjoy.
If the Killjoy is able to step up, really being able to make that chance happen. But Kane off on the end is going to lose the gun duel. So Chursik happily takes that first blood. With that initial contact, it is now open time to plant Fried. Sets it down, but now stuck into a corner. So the rest of the team has to bail him out, but look at that. That is going to be the mollies and everything locking him down. Easy kill.
Bosco will walk their way back towards site. So many ultimates here for Hebron. They can play so much time. Orbital strike in first. The push is going to come through hallway. St. John Bosco take it straight to him. Trades in their favor. Looking for one more. Sky caught on the rocket. Sean, a quick trade. 3 picked up for the breach on the retake. A 7th round converted for St. John Bosco. Hebron take it all the way to the plant, but they just can't quite finish the job.
And I mean, that one, Hebron actually had that plant. We said it, right? Initial player advantage. They were 5v4. But Fried getting caught back in the corner, not able to rotate with the rest of the team. That was one easy pickup. After that, everyone knew, all of Bosco knew that there was a possibility that, hey, you know what? They're all flooding in. We've been winning the gun rounds time and time and time again. Why not rush them? It was a straight up gun check that Bosco knew that it was not a 50-50. Beautiful job on the reads. And again, Hebron, they now have to adjust once again. How do we deal with this? They are playing fast. They're playing loose. How do we deal with this? We don't have another timeout to be able to save this half.
Kane flashed off the angle early. Hebron once again going to work on this closer, quicker contact. Stride will be caught out. Kane another coming out of hallway. Great bot flash out that vision denial. Church going to trade one back, but that's all they've got for kills right now. So get early contact. Back again is Sky. He'll blast back in. He'll blast out. He says it's 8-2 for St. John Bosco. So clearly Hebron went in that timeout and said, we can't default. Like, it's not going to work. Like, they're reading us. It's not working. We're not winning rounds. We've got to do what we know best, which is just out-mechanicking this team. Let's just play quick. Let's play contact and just try to win the fights. The issue is they're losing them.
Trying to rely. One of the things that I like to say is to overcome micro, you have macro. That's what you have. When the macro falls apart, though, you have to rely on better micro, and they don't have the better micro at this point in time. Now, will that change later? Possibly. Fracture, a little bit of a change up here. Not exactly their pick either. So, maybe for Hebron, they say, hey, we want a little extra later, and maybe this is just another warm-up.
Okay, they will play a much more split default here. Floated spike and spawn. Everything will be this defender side of the map, though. Ethan's going to fall early. The single controller already gone. Gritzy going to take space. And they'll have to try to bring everybody to swing it to B. They got the vision dial down, so they do have that space, and they have it held. They can work into it now. Gate crash out from Kane. Gather information on just one player at the tower. Rolling Fender online for retake early. Miri going to pick up one. So that'll be Fried to fall off the orbital strike. Gritzy a trade back. And one player advantage at this current moment. Kane will make it an even number, and now will gain advantage for Bosco. Yet again, Kane shooting the lights out. And 1v2 for Ritzy. Not to work with, lots of utility for this KO. Side angling difficult. Beautiful pop flash. And now very low HP. It's a single player, a headshot to the dome, and Kane will take the round home.
So remember what we said about a Yoru player, right? A little bit about Yoru is, what do we have to do? They have to baby him a little bit for the team. Kane is like, ain't no babying the former rank 1 on the ladder. There is no babying here. Yes, you're not the top frag, but for a Yoru, at any time, being able to even have this level of confidence of play and the gun control, I think speaks for itself. Maybe not to the Yoru, but Kane is on point. Kane is ready to roll, ready to play it out here, and I love it. When the player is able to make an agent look amazing, it means that the team is ready to roll. So I expect to see even more, maybe not the Yoru specifically, like you said, the Neon, a little bit more popular here. But I still think it's working out phenomenally, and it's throwing Hebron for a little bit of a loop.
Hard defensive read on the A site. They put 2 players early to hallway, so the information that this is going to be B, and the plan will guarantee that info is accurate. Team will look to take a retake. It'll be a hard 5-on-5 here. All about the mechanics in this one, and Bosco have been just a step above in that department. Flash relief for Kane. Can't take Ritzy, though. Low HP KO going to walk away with it. Church going to pick up 2 more, and a Rolling Thunder to send them away out of Staircase. All the room in the world. St. John Bosco working a very segmented 1v1. Ritzy going to pick up the first. They try to continue this pin. Sky in, rocket forward, caught though by Churstik on site. Sean in a 1v3. A lot of players to find. Can just grab one. Mania trade, and a 6-round differential going into the half.
You know what, Churstik, once again, I said Churstik last time looked phenomenal in their matchups. Whenever there was a moment to have a chance, yes, maybe Ritzy was a possibility, but Churstik had a solid game, and now stepping up, 9 kills, 10 deaths. Unfortunately, not exactly over a 1.0, but still close enough. Making the play, making sure that Bosco do not sit on 10 at the end of the day. A 9-3, you can always talk about the curse. That's always fun, you know, a 9-3 curse. Hey, the reverse is coming in. But it's still a win at the end of the day, and it gives Hebron a chance, another little chance to breathe. If you're down 2 rounds, if you're down 10-2 at the end of the half, it feels rough going into the pistol, because if you lose that pistol, you're pretty much on map point at that situation. A 3-9, hey, you have a little bit more wiggle room, so something to kind of think about as Hebron now on the defense in a 3-2 split.
Quick pistol round. It's the Frenzy of Ritzy. Good to garner the first. Full defensive rotation currently on its way. These 2 players on site going to try to hold on to it. Tristic will fall and Ritzy right after. So Hebron down a member for this retake. Plant will go down now. Early util, they want to play this quick, and that has cost them. Vixen going to find everything. All 4 picked up on the post plant. It's 10-3.
Feels so good right there. Double digits, and now Hebron got to sit and wait. But again, even if they lose here, they're okay. They have another chance. It is not map point. This is, again, I love gun checks. I still love the fact that both teams are willing to just kind of rush it and be like, hey, let's see who wins the pistol. Let's have some fun here. A great job, again, by Vixia. This Cypher is one that I am seeing more and more here in the Nationals, just specifically, and I love it. I love these Cypher players coming out. We either see the difference of util for the team or util for myself, the information gathering. Do I utilize it or does the team utilize it? We are seeing those drastic differences, and I expect to see even more as B was tested. This time it's A.
An early fall line will stall this for just a moment. He's just going to get caught by the boom bot. All the info in the world. This rim is here, and Sky going to catch it through the smoke. So the SMGs have found the first 2. They've got sight. This will be a very difficult post plant for pistols in the hands of Hebron.
Hebron's just like, do we actually want to do this? do we want to? Tristan's like, I don't have a choice. I have 20 HP. Help. Fried is able to find 1. The Stinger finds his mark. But Churstic, looking for a gun of their own, is able to grab it. Very, very nice. Give themselves a bit of a better work. But Sean says, nah, put that back down. That ain't yours. That was on loan. Fried blinded out, and Sean grabs the second. Is the third in their pocket? Yes, it is. Sean with a 3K to give Bosco their 11th.
8 rounds now to separate these teams. The run from St. John Bosco has been incredibly deadly. We grab a bonus here. This one just about sealed away, locked and shut. They'll have a Phantom in their hands, a Bulldog for Miri, who's been on point with shots. It's like the rest of the roster here in this one. So a bonus they could most definitely convert. They'll play a slower default into this one, and Hebron, not the same story. They're going to play a very quick attacking round. Everything looking to work its way to Fender spawn. There's only one to find, though. It's just Kane, the Yuri, who's going to hear early steps out of staircase. That lets this team know there's nothing arcade side. We've got room, and they'll take just that. So they're already at a tower. Miri's going to pick up one onto Ritzy. They've got sight just like that. Great read from Kane.
Kane is just showing up here, and I love it. It's not just in the kills, it's in the aggression, it's in the follow-up, and you can see here, bleeding into the rest of Bosco. Hebron have not found a response, and even on defense, Bosco, we're willing to push, and it just feels so done. Exit, though, might try and make it happen. Currently has a 3K, needs to ace to finish things off. If you pull this one off, it might be the breath, a fresh air. Hebron need to try and pull Fracture back in their control. Not like they ever had it to begin with. Unfortunately, with the knife out, you are done. Miri closes down and puts Bosco on map point.
When I talk about push and pull, that's exactly what I'm referring to. Kane sits in spawn alone, sits behind the box, hears 2 players walk down ramp. In hearing those 2 players, they're able to communicate with the rest of the roster. The defense is currently all the way down ramp. They are not holding sight. They are not holding arcade. It means 4 players from St. John Bosco are able to freely swing through. They instantly have tower. They can walk through to sight. Heck, they can even get the early cutoff on rotation and defender spawn. And that round's over before it starts. Hebron give that initial position away, and someone's there to read into it. The default's quite successful. Now they'll look to just finish the job. They'll walk it straight into A.
Easy. This is what they're saying, easy in their own. Kane sending out that clone, saying, hey, any biters? Nope, I see a gun though. Headshot, Ixith is down. Ain't no clutches set up. Kane just running around. Rough shot here. Sky coming in from the sky, takes out Mania's head. And Fried going, I don't know what's going on right now. Well, at least I knew that one, but that's going to be it. 13-3, and one of the more one-sided fights we've had. Bosco on their map pick. Take the dub.
Yeah, the Braves showed up today. ready to go this morning. The energy shots, most definitely in this camp, and the shots on point for them as well. Everybody showing up on that leaderboard. I don't think there's a single player below a 10 frag. I don't think there's a single player that's negative on that team. Everyone really showing up. Assist in droves for the initiators as well. And a very confident scoreline. I mean, a 13-3 is no joke. This Hebron squad coming in as the 4th seed and in map number 1 looking like it.
I don't expect them to slow down either. It's really going to be on Hebron to actually step up. And again, on their map pick Pearl, I expect them to do so. This is a little bit out of pocket, I feel, for them. So I hope to see them be able to step up, push just as much as Bosco did. And I want to see what Bosco can do in return, right? This is a squad that is saying we deserve to be here and we deserve to take down the previous reigning champions. With that, we'll go ahead, go to a quick break. But before we do, I do want to shout out once again that we are here also to support an amazing charity. Video Games and Esports Foundation is a group willing and hoping to help raise funds for grants and scholarships for disenfranchised students in low-income areas. And we would love to have you help us out as well. Please go ahead. If you're interested, type in !charity in the chat to see how to donate. Thank you very much for your time on that one. And of course, we'll be right back with the continuation of the HSEL Nationals. Welcome back, everyone. Just a little bit of a short break, and we are right back into the action as right now, Hebron are in a dilemma. Currently looking at elimination. If they lose this game, the returning champions in the 2022 Nationals will be knocked out. And Bosco, they want it to happen. They looked amazing on Fracture. One of the more one-sided maps that we saw, a 10-round differential. They show they're here to play, and one of the standouts, again, on the Yoru, having a bit of fun there, was Kane once again.
Yeah, I'll switch to the vibes just a little bit. Coming into Pearl, it means that we will get a double controller. At least expecting double controller. Saw Brim come out for Fracture, just standard to meta, but it does not show what the controller prowess is going to look like for the side of St. John Bosco. Other things, we've seen Kane on a Neon already this event. I would not be shocked to see them go back to it to play early mid control on Pearl. Also is going to change things a lot here of that early mid round timing, having the mid to work with, which of course you do not have on Fracture. We'll see. I think as a very momentum-based player, it might be difficult to play as a Neon now after going down 13-3. Right? If momentum's not on your side, if you're not feeling confident, you're not going to be able to take those peaks near as effectively. So they're hovering early, looking at role swaps. We'll see what they want to do. The lock on the other side will be, of course, that Viper Astra, exactly what we would have expected to see. Let's get on top of it. They'll play very on part of the meta.
I mean, why break up that meta? And also, it brings a form of comfort, right?
Yep.
You take a look. You went down pretty rough, and I also feel they expected it. We did see a little bit of a lapse. It felt like they kind of gave it away. They're like, okay, save the mental, get ready for the next one. We still have a chance, and this is our map pick. That's what they should be telling themselves. This is our map pick. We know this one. Hopefully, Bosco don't, but have a good feeling about it. I want to see them play strong. I still want to see them playing like they are returning national champions. They have 2 members returning on the roster, so let's bring it on home. That's what they should be saying. Of course, Bosco. I expect to see Kane, and now on the Reyna again. That duelist, that setup. Sean now on the Jet of all things. I love it. So, what will they put out for us here? My start, though, I want to see Hebron rush. Once again, keep that energy, keep that aggression, and keep that skill check on board. Send a message, and hopefully have the message received.
Kane will play the Reyna, so we'll still play a duelist. We'll play just a little bit safer. Won't have to be nearly as fast or as in your face as with the Neon. Also gives Kane an opportunity to op in addition to Sean, excuse me. And Kane, a player that had a lot of early frags on the Reyna in the last series. We got to see this team on. Pick the Reyna. Pretty off the bar pick nowadays. Just there's a lot of additional value in other places, so we don't nearly see as many Reyna picks. However, as long as you're able to convert frags, get your overheals cooking, there's no shame in it. So it's a pretty solid second initiator option. Those leaders are great for team flashes.
Well, early start straight up through mid, no problems dealing with the setup. For right now, though, it's a 4-1. Just saying, hey, keep testing the waters, keep having a bit of fun there. They'll go ahead and section off the zone. So Sean left on their lonesome, blinded out, not able to do anything. But Vixia and Kane just say, hey, we got you, buddy. Look to the ropes. Look to the heavens. We got you. Exith, last one alive on this poor Astro, running away for their dear life and running straight into the Wolfpack. Sean sends him packing as the head is taken.
Hebron get into mid early, utilize Astro Util to get there. They just can't get out once they're in. Caught by the B site defensive, and they do a great job of just hitting shots. The Bosco defense going to hold strong. They got momentum coming out of the last map, and now momentum into this one, taking the pistol.
Just so good, and I hope to see even more of it. Again, like I said, I love seeing the aggression come out here, but at this point, I believe it is well established. Bosco have the technical prowess. They are in that micro mindset. They will win those gun duels, and you can even see it in the weaponry advantage, the shotgun coming out here. Of course, Vixia saying, I still want to run with that pistol, and gets another headshot. Are you kidding me? The ghost crying out from the grave. Fried finally able to finish it off, but a single player hold taking away two means Hebron are not enjoying this one as much. Kane able to follow up off on the side, and they are now routing them into Art. Look at that body shot. Kane says, give me two as well.
Eastis in a 1v4. Swing on its way.
Oof. Shot the outline.
Not to be. Not to be. St. John Bosco into the bonus. Kane back to the shotguns. Has had very limited success with a Bucky in hand throughout this event. See if this round will play favorites to him, as Hebron will play a very segmented default here in this one. Going to try to get extra space early. We saw them play quick contact out of mid in the pistol. Didn't work out in their favor. Going to try to play a little bit slower the rest of the game. We saw them try to switch tempo after the first two rounds. On Fracture, weren't quite able to default. Hopefully this map is different, as Fry's found one early.
I mean, that's one way to change it, right? They've been losing members off the rip every single time. This time, again, giving themselves that advantage, and with the weapons as well, you are happy about this. Can you find anything? Trailblazer looking left, right, center, cannot find anyone. So, right back into square one. You at least know the site's open, but Vixia able to find a head. Can't find much more. Miri, though, with the hard spray. Again, can only find one. Everyone back and forth. Leads Fried and Ritzy to take everything. Two for Ritzy on the back end. Grants Hebron a much-needed round.
And this split works in their favor, able to find that first pick, and they just work the tempo after they found it. Defense can't set up in time, and they just continue to win those firefights. Into the gun round now. John Bosco will swap the defense in just a little bit. They'll bring an extra player over to that B site. So put that Sky deeper into mid. I don't really expect this to be much more than just an early guiding light to make sure that Hebron aren't trying to take early mid control.
Placing alarm bot. Placing swarm grenade.
Right now, setting themselves up once again. Blind. Rough. Hey, we want to push. Nope. Just no. Just no. Mid up, though. Take a little bit of time to themselves, and I believe this is right. Hebron trying to space out once again. Trailblazer last time wasn't able to find anything, but they did see it this time. So, two at least spotted inside of this mid. But the mow down is there. Mania and Churstick able to give themselves a little bit of breathing room. But can they push any further? They're still stuck in this corridor. Need to space themselves out. Jet running forward, and Exith brings it home. Mania finds a headshot, and just like that, Bosco are done. 2-2 is a score as Bosco are now sent to the save.
Bosco not quite able to contain that one defensively. We saw them capable of it in the pistol round. It was mid doors taken early from Hebron, and then the B-site players is able to continue to hit those shots. There's a couple very ambitious peaks early for the defensive side, and they just end up getting caught out. They had the chance to contain all five there in Art. Just weren't quite patient enough to grab advantageous fights, and that'll be a lesson to learn very quickly. We know they're capable of it. We saw it just a couple rounds ago. King gonna buy a hero rifle into this round. They'll go straight to mid. They see nothing. Chance at the wrap now.
Kane's taking the scenic route here, as this is going to be the first B-side hit that we have seen thus far. I mean, they're making it. B-Long now fully controlled. Up against that wall, Vixia completely blinded out, but Kane says, give me that chance. Great shot number one, but Ritzy fires back, and that's going to lean in Hebron's favor. Seekers going to find their prey. One goes up, lower as well. So 2 lower, 1 up. Sean on the backside says, please, Sheriff, give me the headshots. Fires off 2 more, baiting out a lot of people, but the spike is already down. What can Bosco do?
Sean caught early on the flank will make this much more difficult. Flash takes Sky off the spike. Vix will find just 1 out of heaven as Ritzy cleans up the post-plant early contact. Vandal in Vix's hands. See if he can kill some econ here out that swing. Cannot do so. He will find the last 3-2. Hebron going to take a lead.
Just like that, they look a little bit better. Again, on their map pick, you know, they're enjoying themselves. What more can they do, though? I want to see even cleaner. I want to see them back to form. That's what I really want to see. I also want to see Bosco step. I just want to see a good game. That's all I want to see. I want to see the teams running up that score sometimes because you want to make them competitive. This is the Nationals. These are the champions rocking their way out, and no one wants to fall 13-3, 13-5, 13-6. They want to make it close. So, Hebron, of course, putting up some nice numbers. Leading the way, though, Ritzy with that Viper's Pit, they're able to get on the site, are going to enjoy it. But, again, a walk forward. Bosco pushing and catching Hebron by surprise.
That's Ritzy down early. A lot of conditioning utility. Hebron will not be able to reactivate here. It's just the Astra util to rely on. That's going to pick up the tempo for the offensive here, not feeling like they're going to be able to reset the default after the early context. They're going for it all. Bosco read into this quite nicely. We got Kane very deep into sight. Shoot their way out of trouble. Will just miss back into the back of sight. Spikes down, no recovery just yet. Look the heal mania. One guy I like to work off of. Can get overzealous. Cost him his life. It's 2-2. Chelsea's at close side box. Was it close side box? True discipline solid as well. Too loud for the first player to walk through. Waits for the second contact before they shoot and are able to find both. That jumps them to the middle of the leaderboard. Jumps us to a 3-3 score line, tied up. Brazen a solid job of having defensive reads, really forcing Hebron to make mistakes that they are consistently making. They're very willing to peak early, and they recognize the fact that that default hasn't been incredibly effective for them. So if they're able to recognize early contact, they bring all the members over because this team really hasn't rotated.
I mean, kind of forcing some of these moves here, and now again it's a chance. So they went towards A 4 times in a row, and now they're deciding, hey, let's go ahead and just hit B over and over again. And this is again a default. You talk to a lot of teams, and they really enjoy this B long side. They just, yeah, it's a straight shot forward. You don't have to worry about the angles as much. You just rush. And it feels like it's going to be a chance, but Kane goes ahead, cracks down on Ritzy, who tried to fly by. Not going to happen. Mania fires right back, and it's a beautiful shot trade, 1 for 1. Up on the top rungs, though, Vixia getting some good damage, and through the wall finds Exic's life, giving Bosco the player advantage. Mania trades it right back up. Frying down Vixia. Miri can only get 1. Mania on a maniacal run on 3. Sky trying to do it, but gets peeked and shot. The wall is just paper thin. 9 HP and a dream.
Swap to the Vandal here to give a chance at 1 taps. Just going to head away from this one. The team will call it off. The plan will come down, and this will be an extended save. It'll be almost a timeout for both of these teams. Hebron's still yet to plant. That puts Sky back into this one. Was going to save. It's been so long. They've walked back recognizing if I peak on timing and kill plant, I might be able to win this round. And that was the hope. Mania was there. Heaven watching the angle. So we'll shut it down. A 4K picked up for the Jets in a 4th round for Hebron. We start to ping pong a little bit. But St. John Bosco into an awkward buy round. Kane's bought hero rifles in the past, had a Vandal within the first 5 seconds of the buy phase, has changed his mind.
The fact that they waited that long, just, we'll play with our food a little bit. But very solid tactic. Not only that, hanging on to the ults as well. We do see the Blade Storm, that Cosmic Divide, and so much more. The Viper's Pit, the Lockdown, these are big changing ultis. These are ones that are going to give you the most advantage. Hebron say they don't really need it. Let's go ahead and keep challenging, this time up mid. They have not been able to conquer the mid factor just yet. Bosco has actually shut them down multiple times, so if they are able to conquer through art as well, they're going to be very, very happy because it creates so much more space for them to work with. Their options now increase ever further, and it looks like they have done so. Again, it is a save from Bosco, but it still feels good to say, hey, this plan worked out.
Look at Contain yet again as his defense. They just don't quite have the firepower to make it happen. The crossfire is good. With pistols, though, it doesn't matter. Hebron going to bludgeon their way through. Isa's going to pick up 4. Hebron will take another round. This is
No worries.
to match the largest lead of the game, which is only 2 rounds. Been very close all the way through this one. World economy is fantastic for Hebron. They should be able to break eco here if they're willing to expend a couple.
Right there.
I would hope so. I want to, out of all the ults that I want to see used, I want to see that Viper's Pit used. I personally love the Viper's Pit. Yes, I'm a big fan of Killjoy. I love the lockdown. The Viper's Pit, I feel, provides so much more in the entirety of the ultimate. You get to see the poison, the damage coming down, but not just that. The ability to deny so much vision, the ability to force someone to get into close quarters combat, which Bosco have notoriously been good at so far, in a little bit mid to long range. Well, no, you say, hey, come up close. You're going to fight us at this range. We are going to fight on our own terms. And it draws in this unwilling feeling, the unsettling business for Bosco. So I want to see it used. However, will it? I don't know. Of course, Hebron are the better players. There's a reason I'm here and they're there.
It's Hebron yet again into a mid-scale. It's been interesting defensive presence. It's either they put everything in mid early, or they put nothing in mid early and look to contain. They've opted for containment this round, and so far so good. Sky will grab 1. Divide will come up here, and that'll give room for Hebron to walk to site. Ethan's caught a big pick to make sure that Kane can't be here on the link lurk. It's going to go down to double lockdowns. The defensive one a lot less effective. We'll take them out to main, but that's where they were going to go anyway.
Good destruction, though. Vixia, again, with those lockdowns being expended, you're able to get more, and Miri now able to get front and center. Takes 2. Definitely been in aim labs, but that's the defuse. Doesn't matter who's left alive. And Bosco will happily move in behind, and once again on their defensive. It was a little bit slower pace. It was a little bit quieter back in game 1, except for a few shots. So keep it in pace until they go to the attack and decide to run roughshod. I think they're in a pretty happy spot for not being their map pick.
Actually, the lockdown, very effective. It gets them far enough out of sight that Ritzy doesn't feel comfortable enough to throw the pit down, which gives them a much easier retake, having that Viper off of sight. So there is value there. I think Hebron play a little too wanting for that pit, so the fact that they want it so bad is they're not ready to react to the lockdown and just end up working out of that chaos. They'll try to play their way through mid. Haven't been mid door since the pistol round. They will win the space, but the issue was getting out of this B-link chokehold.
This time they might have it, but Kane gets around. Shots 1. Can only find so much. It's a 4v3. There's the Viper's Pit that we were talking about. Going to coalesce around this B site, but before it can fully go up, Vixia able to find the small lurk on the side. Ixith will not be able to drive the Cosmic Divide if they so wish. But you can see the small fade back. Hebron falling back and now spreading right back out into this pit. Miri, crossfire, great for Chursik. Vixia still finds Ritzy, and that's the pit down, and that's going to create the opportunity. 1v1. Killjoy versus Killjoy, and Sky wins it out. Ult expended. Bosco, bait and take.
They find the pit. They find their way into sight. They cannot find a round win. 10 rounds away. We're 5 apiece. We split them straight down the middle here in map number 2. Rifles on both sides of the coin. Still ults to work with. Definitely in the favor here of St. John Bosco. They have that divide for a retake. They got Kane's Empress, which hasn't had value just yet. And Vixa will have a great retake ultimate as well. So St. John Bosco, he said they've been playing in mid. In some rounds, they've been playing completely out of mid. In this round, with the retake ultimates online, this is a round to play completely out of mid.
Just send it, right? Is that the full send, or is that the play confident and try and get it, or do you just rush? What are we looking at? Which they're choosing slow, it looks like. A little bit more controlled, right?
With that retake utility, no real reason to be on close contact. Kane can get out pretty easily. Was looking for extra info. Try to play alarm above that alarm bot that's been here pretty much every round. The Hebron still do the due diligence to clear the corner just in case there is a player on contact. They've dealt with it effectively. Bosco instantly gonna start a rotate here. I've seen nothing deep A main though. So right now, predicting that everything is art side. And Hebron have right into that. They'll rotate instead through mid door. They're gonna have a free pass into this B site. If they can get an early cutoff here, they can shut down hopes to retake with ultimates. Ashan's been guided, lighted away. He's gonna pick it up very early. There's that player advantage. That'll be the push into the B site now. And with 2 extra members, these ultimates, do you even risk expending them into the round?
It's really up to them to say. I mean, we have seen teams decide to expend in a 3-5 or even a 1-2, and we're like, hey, you're the players and you make it work. This time around, though, I do agree. I don't think they're going to expend it here. Hebron saying, we got 5, we have it all spread out, and now you're not even allowed to consider it. Sky, knocked down, Miri on top ropes, also destroyed. Ritzy on point with those angles, and Vixia, I mean, it's the knives, right? You don't want to test those waters. Can't get the headshot, so it's a flawless as Ritzy cleans it up.
All right, Hebron once again going to shift themselves into the lead. St. John Bosco, can they get it back to a tied scoreline as we hit halftime? Still the ults to work with. The weaponry, a different story. 3 stingers online for this team means they've got to play close contact into this round. Kane got snuffed out early into art, is back on the angle again.
I mean, so far Kane's had hit or miss, and honestly, it's whether Hebron is ready for it, right? Whether they are reading this art poll. And on the other side, I also give a lot of credit. Well, they definitely read it. Same with Vixia. Vixia has also been playing that angle time and time again, and finally, it is just given to Hebron on a silver platter. Both pushes denied, and Bosco already down to a 3v5. Sean trying to re-peek and gets one. So Steer gets it, but can you get back in time? No, you cannot. Ixith runs him down 4v2.
I couldn't make it to Cubby. Mid door opened yet again for Hebron. Walk this into the B site. Just needs 1 ultimate to work with here for the retake. It'll just be that cosmic divide. Down 2 players. We saw them unable to convert on the 3-4 retake. Can they do it now down an extra player?
Well, you know what? Times do change. Maybe not so much deja vu. Sky, though. Let's try and get something. Sees the turret. Wall goes up. Looking high and above. That's a smoke, and you jump and you get some information, but now you're tucked into a corner, gets the gun out, gets a headshot, can't find more than one. Churstick says, hey, I got one fried, you take the other. And it's 7-5 score. Hebron happy that they're in the lead. Maybe not as clean as they would have liked it, though.
Just 2 rounds still. The difference in this one, we have not got a lead over that margin just yet. That could change, though, if Hebron are able to take the pistol. So now Bosco will sit down and talk just a little bit here. Feel that momentum shifting, and I can't say I blame them. We had rounds going down to the wire, tooth and nail, looking at 1v1s to close out a lot of the earlier rounds, about the first 10. Then the last 2, Hebron start to have better offensive reads. We're looking at 3 players left alive for this team. Recognize the fact that not only are they winning mechanically, but they're winning in the reads, and Bosco will take a second to calm the nerves just a little bit. They're up a map. There's no real worries just yet for them. They'll go to a much easier and less technical map after this one for map 3. So just calm the team. Rally the troops back up. So a chance to talk offensively of how you want to play this half. The only thing, though, use this timeout so early. What does that mean for the rest of the half?
Yeah. Big question left on the table. I mean, I've talked to you about this before. I have some, reservations about when timeouts should be used, and I feel like it should be used at impactful points. And it really is up to the teams, but it's left us guessing exactly why they want to take the timeout, what it is. And really, like you said, this is one of the more obvious ones. Literally, just get the nerves under control. Hey, maybe we don't practice this map as much. It's okay. Rely on those micro skills. We're in control. Let's go ahead and play like we're in control. Of course, Ixith and Ritzy are two members that have once again shown up. Back in day one, we said after watching Hebron in some of their wins, it was these two that really stepped up to the plate, really gave us some good shows, had some awesome frag outs, 3Ks and 4Ks across the board. This time around, it's much more contained, much more controlled. Maybe not the 3 and 4 constantly, but enough. 2, maybe every other round. That's what they like to see. Pistol, though, this will be very telling. If Bosco are able to rush it, which they are, and get the plant down and get these early rounds, hey, we could see an 8-7 start. But Churstick said, nah, we know you're going to push. We know you're going to get a bit of antsy, and because of that, we take those early frags. That is going to be the frenzy, biting off 2 and left. Only 2 alive. Make it 1 as Churstick grabs another. Sky, you are about to be grounded if you're not careful. Shots through the smoke take their life.
Now, largest lead of the game. Hebron will take a 3-round advantage, looking for 4 here on anti-eco. There's a consideration for a 4-spy into this round. Kane has been the player to expend a little extra utility with or without the team, and that looks like it'll be the case in this round. They'll buy a Stinger going into it. A lone Stinger working around pistols, not expecting too much, to be honest with you. See if Kane can rewrite my words, though. St. John Bosco work their way into mid. There's no contact. Hebron recognizing utility advantage, gun advantage, no reason to give these eco weapons any close range fights.
Play it smart, play it careful, play it happy. Kane took a little bit of time to take out that turret, but it's enough. Waited it out, made sure the team was ready, but Fried, again, has a gun advantage. Hey, Sean was able to spot him out, 2 over there in Connector. Now do they push towards themselves? Maybe, maybe not. Kane can't do anything there. Churstick grabs another. And Sky able to fire back, but look at that. Ritzy finds Sky running with a knife out. Vixia hoping to get one back, but can't. Living on a prayer there is the Viper. And Sean not able to do too much else. Spike, haul him butt.
Yeah, we get plant down, we get a little extra squeeze for the team. Thanks, Sean. So the squad is dead, though, unfortunately. Viper leading the charge right now for Hebron at a link. That's exactly where Sean's going. They're low enough HP that if Sean rounds the corner, they might just get an extra 200 for the frag as well. Has done just that. We'll take Churstick instead. Ritzy a trade, and a round picked up for Hebron. They now lead by 4.
Much more confident. You can see it. They're not waiting around those corners. They're not, do we really want to cheat? They are confident. That's what we want to see. I love it. I love it. And I want to see even more of it. That's what I want to see as a team that feels that they are comfortable on their map pick. They were not bothered by map number 1. Of course, that's still the opening rounds in the half, right? We still got a little bit of time to work with. Bosco, now with guns, we know this team. As soon as guns hit their hand, it feels like they're a whole different squad.
Yeah.
It feels like they get this confidence boost. And I mean, who wouldn't? You get way more clips, you get way more damage. Of course, that works. However, we need to see it in their confidence in moving through this map as well. Maybe not relying on the micro, but at least putting together some of these util push outs. You know, maybe having a dash with the jet, make sure that you get a little bit of spot, as you said, ping out the opponents, follow up with a couple stars, whatever you want to do. Work towards it as a team, as we have Kane currently pushing up this B side.
Team defaults very well. Impressively well. Early contact will come through mid-door. From the Sky, it's forced out the Poison Orb early. That'll put it on a 30-second cooldown here momentarily. Full swing on rotation as the KJ util has been disestablished on A main. So St. John Bosco have worked all the util, and without making a single ounce of contact, the single shot fire, they've taken the A site.
Really, was that Hebron giving it up, or was that Bosco doing very well? That is a big question. I think both teams were kind of leaning into that. Both of them think they currently have the upper hand. But that's a huge shot. Sean with the spray and pray gets 2 headshots, and I don't think that's what Hebron were ready for. Sean makes it a 3K, said thank you very much. Now looking for the ace. And yes, weapons advantage to Bosco. Still, though, it feels like Hebron still have a chance. 2v3. Low gun output, Guardian on the back end. Kane needs to tap these well. Have a crossfire ready. Look to the right. Kane swings, does not spot, and now sees one. Nice little tap. That's the finish. 3 left alive for Bosco.
Kane did a very good job on the attacking side of Fracture in situations just like that as well. very comfortable on the lurk and smart enough on the lurk to recognize this advantageous positions and wait and relay information to the team. We saw attacking rounds go to the B site because Kane was willing to sit behind box long enough to garner information to allow the attacking side to get that extra space. Does a good job in that round as well, holding to the back of defender spawn, allowing the teammates A main to swing to make sure they don't get traded. They'll upgrade their weaponry. Sean will put blades into this round to get just a little bit extra cash in the econ for the team. Hebron going to switch up the defensive, recognizing that Sky Viper combo got caught mid-door very early. They'll put this guy on Art instead. They've also moved the Killjoy setup, as that was discovered into last round. Ritzy to peek early out of Cubby, caught by Vixa, and Bosco with space.
How much space can you really have there in Link, though? There's still a little bit bottleneck. Sean says, hey, we can make even more space. Let's keep up. And then Fry just rips it right back. Can opener shoved right away. You are resealed. But at least you found an opening. A hole in the bottom of the can. Mania still shuts it down. And look at that. Hebron. They are routing Bosco, forcing him to move in the way that they want. And now it's a hard split, but Miri finds it. B-side is open 2v2.
Sky with the space on the Link cutoff and nails the shots afterwards. Posts up, trusting the teammate if they do get traded and won't even need to worry about it. 2 rounds now, the difference. Mentioned this Braves roster with rifles in their hand look like a different team. They'll hold true. And these second 2 rounds have picked up both. Broken eco for Hebron here and are expecting to take one more round. They're going to play this one a little bit quicker. Want to make sure the fights are in their favor.
And right now, Bosco are getting a little bit scrappier. We saw it there. They had the right idea, but as soon as something goes wrong, they tend to scramble a bit, and the scramble's working in their favor, I think. We saw the split. Normally, I think you wouldn't want to split in that scenario, especially with Spike all the way on A site already, and yet you're willing to do so. It works in their favor. They're catching some of these awkward rotations. So now they're doing it once again. They're pushing forward. They're saying, hey, let's go ahead and get in their face. Let's get back in our own rhythm. Let's have some fun. And Sean leading the charge takes 1. Vixia swings on 2 and follows up behind. A flurry of kills and 4 left alive. Means Hebron are right back to the drawing board.
Deeper angles for St. John Bosco with rifles in their hand against pistols are favorable fights and ones that they were able to convert. Eco's so strong. It'll take 2 wins here for Hebron to be able to break that eco yet again. So they're very comfortable right now. Only 1 round the difference. Hebron back to rifles. Another defensive adjustment is going to come through. They'll put the toxic screen early on to B, just in case the St. John Bosco squad do decide to scale. Or if they get to site, it'll be a retake wall. They put the Viper a little farther forward. They've put the one-way back up. And they've brought the Astra now into mid as well. So really trying to bolster and stop this St. John Bosco squad from being able to take space in mid, whether that's mid-door, whether that's Art. They got it anyway.
Kane just saying, hey, you can't play it like us. You're not going to play those doors. You're not going to play Art exactly like we want. And I mean, Kane's just running it now. Kane is having a ball here. That's another. This is Bosco out of nowhere. Just say, let's bring it back. Let's bring that energy. Let's bring that power. Mania at least able to slay 1, slays a second. And just like that, the advantage is now washed away. But Bosco say, we don't need that advantage. We just need the guns. That is now 9-9 as they tie it up with 4 in a row.
There's good Viper utility in mid-door. The issue is there is no extra utility to gather information. So it's consistently Ritzy, Info, Peek, and Cubby. They're there every round. That's easy for St. John Bosco to walk out mid and just take the shot. Ritzy has to fight into a 1v1 there. I'd like to see the Killjoy utility move. I'd like to see an alarm bot on mid-door, then no one has to peek it. I'd like to see the Sky fade a little bit farther over towards mid-door as opposed to Art to throw that guiding light for the information. There are ways to gather that info that does not require Ritzy to peek. And you know St. John Bosco have taken advantage of it. Hopefully it doesn't take a timeout for that adjustment to be made for Hebron. This round will be eco. It doesn't matter too much. It's just a walk into the B site.
You can't get too lax, though, because of Mania. The Jets that we've seen here throughout this weekend have been phenomenal. And creating those spaces, that's exactly why the Blade Storm is there. You create the opportunity, you now trade it down 4-4, and yes, the lockdown coming in, possibly, if they hear a defense try and go for the defuse. Right now, though, it's get the information. All 4 of Hebron currently locked in, loaded inside a link. It's going to work, though. Sean says no. Fried with the stinger gets 1 through the wall. But Anything more than that, not going to happen. Sky finishes off. Miri tags one more, and we are now in a swing right back. Bosco take the lead in what feels like forever.
And every frag there assisted on the post plant. It's Miri with the Nova Pulse. The Fragile 2 allows Rashawn to pick up the first 2 frags. An alarm bot afterwards to stall that team for even longer. Hebron will manage to get back to rifles thanks to the max loss bonus. They've got 4 ultimates into this round. And at this point for Hebron, do whatever it takes to find one. They've lost the last 5.
Over the time, though, they've been accruing something. That something is a wash of ultimates. And there it is, a quick drop of that Viper's Pit, just sectioning off that B site. Unfortunately, only one will see it. And Bosco will be very happy that they were not fading over towards that site anyway. Instead, it's a default. It's a pressure out towards that mid. Churstick, though, said, hey, I found you, Sean. 4v5 time and 3 ultis to spare.
Hebron's squad is nervous. You can tell by how fast they're rotating. It's worked out in mid, though. It's just 2 straight duels that they've been able to win. They give them advantage into this round. St. John Bosco left with very little. They'll try to take another 1v1 to open up space. This time, they're able to convert. Vixia going to grab that one. New Fried was in mid for a moment, took down their teammate. But can they find a very late refrag is the question. They got space in the mid. They'll get space link. We'll try to work back with the team now to get them out of A main.
And I will say this is also one of the first times that they've actually tried to go main side as a priority. I mean, it somewhat works in 2v3. Pit is still over on B. Of course, it doesn't really move that way. But that's going to be the chance. Vixia tried to heal up, and that's going to be the kill. 1v2. Can Vixia pull it off? A Sky. Util dropped. And does have the Trailblazer. That's good blind. You heard the shots. Another Trailblazer shot. You got to reload. You got to get ready, and that's a pinch back. Fried said, no chance in heck we're giving that one up. We're tied, 10-10.
I just spams the bolts there, recognizing there's not really time for you to stick the plant. You've seen both of us here coming out of defender spawn. Just spams the box, recognizing I know you're going to swing me. You're guaranteed going to tap the spike and swing. Just never stop shooting. So by the time they're around the corner, they're already dead. Tied up at 10 as mentioned. You're unable to cling around back. Means a rebuy for them yet again into this round. St. John Bosco just starting to get that econ broken. They've got still 2 rounds of buys left. So Hebron, they've got a round. They've got a lot more work to be done here, and not a lot of rounds to do it. It's full ults for St. John Bosco. It's contact. This is going down. Be quick.
I would expect a Cosmic to come out. I feel a Cosmic would be great to be able to give yourself that advantage. But the Empress is going to be used instead, and there we go. Let's go ahead, break out the pain. Kane wants some action. Even the Seekers, yeah, they're dropping 3 here, and that's going to be 1. Ritzy ready to go, but out of the dismiss. That is an amazing turnaround for Hebron. Sky and Sean, though, traded to a 2v2. Ultis are down, though. Lockdown will collect no one, but it opens up the space. Hebron now 1 high, 1 low. What can they find? They see one go around the back corner, so that is going to be Hall. Currently held. Sky finds the kill. It looked so dangerous, and honestly, Hebron have fought well against these 2 ults, but it's not going to be enough. Bosco maintained the lead out of the tie, but they have expended so much.
I like how late that lockdown is on the attack. It comes down by the time that Kane's already making contact into hallway. And I like how late it is. It forces the defense to believe that they can hold on close contact. The lockdown comes through. They have no choice but to move. And in them moving out of those held positions, it allows for frags to come through. St. John Bosco, of course, are already there, right? And the lockdown takes about 12 seconds to actually activate. So it gives Hebron some time to recognize we'll cut our losses here and just try to take fights. We'll hope for trades on site. They get a couple, but cannot get all of them. So 2 players left alive and a round picked up for St. John Bosco, who no longer have to worry about that broken economy. They'll play a much slower round here. They'll take mid. They've already broken the util, and that Killjoy setup did finally move.
Took them a little bit of time. They said we're not winning those trades in links. So let's go ahead. Just drop the util. Hold it off there. Go ahead, Bosco, say, and now they'll take a chance. A site is open. If they decide to push a little bit faster, they will find an empty site, at least on the top rungs. Yes, 1 in secret, but secret for a reason. Star goes down, well placed if it's activated, and there we go. A little bit blind around the corner, but you get in front. Ritzy can grab 1. You know what? It was a stinger. That's more than enough. Plant should go down. Bosco should have a handle and push themselves to series point.
All 4 players going to work out a defender spawn here. They've got a lockdown. They have a divide. This is a great ult combination. Your eco. Are you willing to throw it into this round to try to avoid that match point? Really, Guiding Light's going to come through. Shots there for Tristan, but can't quite aim. As Kane going to pick up 3. Fried will trade. Now down a player. Some rifles to be picked up. He's going to find another. Get 2 on 2. Pull off the spike is Fried. Enough time here to find these frags in a defuse, especially if Fried can half mirror. Won't let that happen. And now the Swarm's online. This one's cut up. As Ethos, nothing to do on the site. Can't touch spike and can't find a frag. No one willing to peek. Mary will swing on the run and gun. A 1 HP player just needed to sneeze. It's 12 to 10.
Match point.
And we're here. Cat, we have made it. At the start, it looked fairly good for Hebron. It looked decent. It looked like they were going to have an advantage, even if it's small, through the rest of their map. And yet Bosco, they say we will overcome, we will prevail, and now we are 1 round away from having it all go down. Hebron are 1 round away from not being able to make it to that final stage. And only time will tell. Breaking in straight through mid once again.
The defending national champions on the rope. Looking at an early exit in semifinals. And now it's up to Hebron High. Fried going to find the first. They've been able to hold down mid door for now. John Bosco going to bring a little bit extra force. Kane wanting to do it all. Wanting to close the door for his team. His head across. He's going to have a deep lurk here. There's still decent defensive presence on this A site.
I mean, they got the guns, and remember, they didn't expend any of the ults before either. They still had the lockdown. They still had the Cosmic Dive. Plenty to retake with. Look on the far side. B is open, and yet Sean is still on the other side, so still trying to find those frags, and there's the rotate call. I was wondering what was going on. You saw the sweep, and yet you still chose.
They full sight swing.
Oh.
Kane has to be big there on the lurk, and cannot be. Ethan's going to pick it up. Crosshair placement on point, and the shot on the money. St. John Bosco will get to walk into the B site. They're looking at a 3-player disadvantaged post plant. You have a choice here. You can send early crossfire and hope to find all the frags, or you can take early space. They've opted for a little bit of both. 1 player will walk the hallway. Sky's going to take the contact and link. It'll be a 1v3 close for the Killjoy. Needing a lot of value here.
Oh, Sky! I was holding my breath. I was holding my breath. And you know what? It's getting closer. 1v2. Miri, can you do it? Can't find it. You know what? Mania, make sure it happens. And they had to use that Cosmic to die. That's kind of a scary, scary moment, but it's still possibilities in hand. Hebron are not down yet.
And Hebron starting to show those signs of life yet again. We saw them yesterday. A lower elimination game to come out the Group B GSL bracket. Went to map number 2, went to overtime. Hebron kicked it into high gear. The pep talk comes through for the team, and they're able to make it happen. But can they win 1 more round? Look for overtime yet again.
I mean, I feel like this is a tall ask because you now see 4 ults ready to go on Bosco's side. You see that Cosmic Divide and the Empress, of course, called down. And because they have the ults, they say, rush it down B. I like this call. It's faster. It's much more intact with what Bosco have been doing the entire time. So Hebron, they have to respond, but they don't have the tools ready. Plant goes down as free as possible. Let's see what they can do. Kane gets 1. That's going to be an easy pick. Around the corner, they look, and that's Sean and Kane to take another. And it's looking like all danger. The lockdown's back and forth, but it does not matter. 1 left alive. Fried in the top corners. Are they going to do it? They need an ace to hang on, and I don't think they can. That is Sean to finish it off in a flawless round for Bosco.
The Bosco Braves will win it off a contact exec down B. They take it straight to the defending national champions, and they send them home early.
What a challenge, and I think Hebron can be happy about what they have done here today. It is not a station of Hebron, you fell apart. You're not you didn't bring the same hype. You cannot say that. We saw amazing plays out of Hebron throughout the last 2 days. It's just Bosco came with some absolute heat. We said this was going to be one of the most versatile map selections of the entire time, and we saw it right there. And now it's now known to the rest of the squads. Everyone else has been playing these standards, the Haven, the Bind, the Ascent. You're not going to have that if you face up against Bosco.
And this squad looked so incredibly intelligent. They just played a step above. The default's on point. The read's on point. Fantastic utility, and we didn't really see too much early peak. We didn't see info peaks from players without utility coming to help them. We saw them have early map control. I mean, mid a headache for Hebron all the way through that map. Bosco just doing incredible work on the attacking side, looking incredibly favored for them on both maps.
Of course, now with that, we will see Bosco later on in the grand finals. That will be on the mainstream of the HSEL esports squad. But here on Generation Esports, we're actually going to have the third place matchup. We are waiting for the other semifinals to finish up. Once that happens, that team will face off against Hebron in the follow-up. And then later on in the day, we will see so much more. So please stick around. We will have more HSEL Nationals action in just a bit.